My husband, 35 male, ignored my 32 female calls after an accident. Should I divorce him? I, 32 female, am married to my husband, let's call him Bob, 35 male, for 6 years.
Everything is fine between us except this habit of his which lead me to write this post.
He has the habit of not listening to people when he is busy, and just lift the call, say he's busy and cuts the call. This never was serious until 2 months ago. I was driving in the middle of a jungle, a route which was less taken because of frequent accidenta due to animals hitting the vehicles. It was evening, I was returning after caring for my sick sister, who was in hospital. It was getting dark and I had kids at home waiting for me, and I started worrying because even though my husband is working at home, he gets busy with work and doesn't care about anything else. I was driving under the speed limit but was in a hurry, and it was kind of raining. Suddenly an antelope ran across the road and jumped on my car, making me to swerve off the road and hitting a tree. I hit my head pretty hard and my vision became blurry. My right hand was not moving, so I grabbed the mobile and pressed the SOS button, where my sister and my husband are my emergency contacts. My husband received the alert and ignored it. I tried dialing 911 but I think I fainted. I woke up in a hospital, where the doctors told me I damaged my spine. The accelerator went through my leg and had multiple fractures, and some stranger basically found me and called them. The hospital staff then told me that they tried contacting my husband and my sister but both were not available. They told me it may take me many days to go home and I will need someone to be with me. I spent the night crying, feeling hopeless and lonely. My husband appeared the next day late in the morning. He told me he was sorry, he was too tired and went to sleep after turning his mobile off. This wouldn't have bothered me so much if I had not mentioned him the importance of being available on calls for emergencies hundreds of times before. I did not want to see him. My sister got well and came to my hospital with her husband after 2 days, and I went back to her place after a few another days as my spine injury needed someone to help me with my chores. My husband is now upset thinking that I will be divorcing him and is texting me non-stop. Him thinking of divorce made me consider if it is worth living with him, because the thought of dying alone someday just because my husband is not answering his damn phone is scary. Should I consider divorcing him? By the way, kids are also at my sister's as they are calling a babysitter so that my sister can be with me. So he got a SOS, put it on silent, went to sleep, did not notice that you were not coming back. Did not realize you were still not there in the middle of the night and finally moved his ass lat in the morning? The hospital could not reach him. He saw the name on his phone ringing and in his missed calls. What a turd. There's a reason his brain jumped to this. He knows this has been a persistent issue and he knows he screwed up enough to make you fed up. Personally, I agree, you should consider it. This isn't a first-time whoopsie. I think the fact that you're feeling this way is very indicative of your real feelings coming out. I personally cannot imagine turning off my phone or hanging up on my partner who is going through something potentially dangerous. I won't tell you what you need to do, but this is definitely a crossroad moment. Consider it carefully, so you can live with your choice whichever way you end up deciding. His habit is that he's a dickhead. The entire point of a spouse is to have someone to lean on when you need them. He's shown he is completely useless in an emergency and in your recovery, and was so nonchalant that he turned off his phone and slept in late after getting an SOS message from you. And it sounds like he has made it a habit to be rude, dismissive, and uncaring towards you. What is even the point of this person in your life? It's up to you what you decide to do, but personally, it seems like a waste of your time, energy, and effort. Edit. I just saw he isn't taking care of the kids, someone else is. FFs, this man is absolutely fucking worthless. You might as well be a single parent anyway. I think it would be extremely reasonable to divorce after this. If my partner did this to me, I'd probably never be able to forgive them. You could have died if someone else hadn't found you. If it would have been a genuine mistake, then I would have understood. But then he should be groveling for your forgiveness. Instead, he is doing what seems to be the usual for him based on your post, the bare minimum so you don't leave him. You seem to be alone even married to him. So why stick around? I could not imagine turning off my phone if my partner were not home yet. He went to bed? It was late enough for him to go to bed and you weren't home, and he wasn't worried? Boyfriend 26M steps over my 26F semi-conscious body and leaves me on the floor.
How should I react?
I 26F am anemic and it often makes me lightheaded and prone to fainting.
The other day I had a bit of a bad spell that didn't clear as quickly as usual.
I fell to the floor and was staying conscious, but barely, and trying to prop myself up against a doorway thinking lying flat would make it worse. The only part of me really propped up was my head. My vision went completely but I was still conscious. I heard my boyfriend's 26M footsteps and thought, thank God. But then I felt his foot brush over my stomach and heard his steps continue past me. By the way, we have been together for 4 years. The back door opened and he went outside. After a few minutes I was recovered enough to crawl to my bed.
After the shock of what had just happened passed, I confronted my boyfriend about stepping over my semi-conscious body and leaving me on the floor. He said he knew I would be okay since it was just my anemia, so there was no reason to get involved. He also said he peeked his head back inside after a few minutes and saw that I was no longer on the floor, so he thought I was all good.
Situation honestly horrified me and made me feel like less than the dirt on the floor, but my boyfriend says I am just overreacting. It wasn't serious, so why should I be mad that he did take it seriously?
It's true it wasn't a serious medical emergency, but it was still scary and I could have used help. Am I overreacting?
I feel like serious or not, when someone falls you help them, especially someone you care about.
His lack of action indicates to me a lack of basic care or consideration for me. Am I right to be really concerned by this response? How should I respond?
Edit. I see a lot of comments about assuming I have not sought treatment or attempted to care for myself, which is a wild assumption. I have been caring for my health, and taking the necessary supplements since I was diagnosed. Most of the time it is manageable. On this day it was a bad day and I didn't pull out of the episode as quickly or easily as I normally would. IDKY, but it could be a host of factors.
And even when I have fainted, I have required very little from my partner.
Update. I'm leaving today.
A lot of people have assumed that I am some drama queen fainting on the daily and milking it for all it's worth.
98% of my condition I guarantee he is not even aware of. I decided a long time ago not to bother or inconvenience him, but the truth is I probably knew he wouldn't want or do anything to help anyway.
It has never been his responsibility to take care of me. All I wanted was the human decency of not being stepped over one of the few times I actually needed him.
I have done all the cooking, all the cleaning, all the laundry while financially supporting this man through school. This has pushed me over the edge. I didn't want to leave without trying my best because I fell in love with him from day one. But I can't do this anymore. I'm dying inside. I bought a ticket back home. Super expensive, but fuck the money, it would have just gone to paying his rent anyway. Also, a lot of people have told me to get tested for POTS as my symptoms align more with that than basic anemia. So once I get home I'll go get that checked out. Where do y'all find these supervillains? Okay, 1.
This is not a normal level of anemia, I hope you know that.
Are you getting treatment? 2. Leave him. He doesn't give a shit about you op. He stepped over you and left you on the ground. Holy shit, this would be an absolute deal breaker for me. People have died when falling and hitting their head.
If someone falls down and doesn't get up normally, no matter why they fall down, then I drop everything and check if everything is okay or if the person injured themselves. As in, the fall itself is something that I would take very, very seriously.
Honestly, we see a lot of shit here on this sub, but this is the most disrespectful and disgusting thing I've read here since weeks. Like, this is below spitting on someone.
Absolutely horrid. I can't even deal with this. Dump him.
Like, I don't care how many times people make the joke that dump him and the main advice this subreddit gives. Just fucking dump him. He poked his head back in after a few minutes, cool. What if something bad had happened during that time? Fucking get rid of him now. Is this the kind of person you trust your future with?
What I find utterly insane about this, is if I came home and found my worst enemy on the floor looking in trouble, I'd still have to stop and help them. Then I read stories like this where someone steps over the body of their girlfriend without helping them and literally walking off. I truly can't comprehend it. Does he hate you op?
There's no way you can stay with him.
Leave him now. My girlfriend, 25 female, of 3 and I, 26 female, had a threesome and I'm regretting it. What should I do?
My girlfriend, 25 female, and I, 26 female,
have been together for 3 years.
Our relationship has been rocky throughout the whole thing because of instability. We finally got stable and moved back to her hometown a few months ago.
Before moving here, we were pretty much together 24/7 and were each other's only friend, companion. This took a toll on my girlfriend because she was used to having her friends around and not being stuck at home all the time.
So when we moved to her hometown, she had all of her old friends back, plus some from her new job. She started going out a lot with people from work that I didn't know, and this caused more issues and stress, which lead to days of arguments and us just growing apart some. We seemed to always come back to each other and ultimately realized that we were going to keep trying no matter what happens. During our relationship we would talk about having a threesome but never did it. It got brought up again recently as a joke, but turned into the real thing when her friend from work, 32 male, was brought up in question. Me being the people pleaser I am and a bit curious, I mutually agreed with my partner that we can set up a threesome with her friend. He agreed and we all talked about boundaries together very briefly. I just told him specific things that I did not want him to do to her and vice versa. I didn't really think about the scenario as a whole, and didn't lay down more boundaries beforehand. The threesome happened and during it was okay. Like I didn't love it but I didn't hate it.
After it was over, we all got on the couch and my partner started cuddling with both of us and showing us both affection. I was under the impression that her friend would leave or at least sleep on the couch, but instead they asked me if it was okay if he slept in our bed.
I told them it wasn't okay with me.
My girlfriend stated that since our living room is cold at night and we don't have extra blankets, it only makes sense if he slept in our bed. So he did. The next morning I woke up and her back was on his front and they were cuddled from the back, while I was holding her from the front. I was very hurt by this and told my girlfriend that I did not want them cuddling.
She moved over but he remained asleep on the bed. I got up and went to work and they were still at our apartment. They both went to his house while I was at work to help him move things into his bedroom. I was upset by this because I didn't want them hanging out alone after we all did that.
But she comes home after I get off work and I barely give her attention and I don't hug her and she gets really upset and it turns into a whole argument.
She says that the only way this would be fun for her is if she has the freedom to be affectionate and spend time with the other person as well. I did not agree to this because I thought it would just be sex, but it turned into her basically dating us both. We were monogamous for 3 years together. After this argument we all talk and I tell them my hard boundaries on no hanging out alone and he can only touch her while we're actively in the threesome. They agreed and we decided to try it again. It was okay again, but after in the middle of the night I woke up and saw him sucking her chest while she was waking up out of sleep, and before I thought about it, I pushed him off of her very hard and cussed him out. The next morning was difficult because I felt bad for what I did and both of them were pretty much mad at me. They said it was within the boundaries I set and that I shouldn't have been mad. I don't know if I'm in the wrong or not, but I just felt like I was being manipulated by them. After I pushed him, he decided to back away for a while and didn't come over for a few days. Today he came over to talk and we discussed boundaries again and even made multiple visual representations on paper to explain the boundaries. I agreed that they could hang out as long as no sexual things happen. I feel really dumb because after the talk they went to his house to watch a movie and hang out. Should I just give it up now? Damn. Your girlfriend met a coworker, became attracted to him and figured out a way that she could fuck him repeatedly with your blessing. You're going to be pushed out of the relationship and you've helped open that door. She soft quit the relationship. Sorry. Wait, hold up. After all this, they went to his house together to watch a movie and hang out. You have to dump her, this is ridiculous. You said yes to a threesome and she heard yes to an open relationship. This already caused you to be physical with the other person and has you emotionally twisted. Their response to that is to go to his house. I think you have all the answers you need. Good luck. Hey, so, as a woman reading this, she does not care about your feelings at all, and neither does he. They overstep your boundaries with flagrant disregard. They keep taking you to the, "what are you going to do about it?" stage and you keep saying, "Guess I'll put up with it." Stop doing this to yourself. These people don't love you. Am I, F, 25, naked too often around my husband, M, 25? Sort of a weird question, but I'm beginning to wonder if I have desensitized my husband to my naked body. We are naked around each other multiple times a day.
We don't close the door when we shower, bathe, we change in front of each other, and we sleep naked together every night, so our nakedness is not necessarily a cue for sex. Then when it's time for sex, maybe the other's naked body is experienced as less profound.
We've been together for 7 years now and usually have sex 1-3 times a week.
Our sex is good and I'm not insecure at all. I'm very confident in my body. I just wonder if we would be hornier. If the sex would be better if he saw and felt my naked body more rarely. Then he might start to crave it more intensely.
Maybe we should deprive each other a little bit. Does anyone have experience with this? Are other couples naked around each other this often or just when you have sex? Thanks for your help. 1-3 times a week is pretty normal for long-term couples. Do you want to have more frequent sex or do you just want a more intense reaction from your husband?
It seems like he's still attracted to you and isn't denying you.
I understand wanting that passion that was there in the beginning. Maybe just ask if there's anything spicy he wants to try out. I don't know if the nudity is desensitizing him. He might just be content and like seeing you. Early in our relationship, my wife was definitely naked more often around me. When the kids came along, however, that went by the wayside.
Sadly, I miss being casually naked around her more often. It was its own kind of intimacy that has basically disappeared from our marriage.
It made me feel closer to her.
My opinion is that ending your comfortable nudity with each other could do more harm to your relationship than good.
My wife and I are naked in front of each other every day. We've been together 27 years and I am more hot for her now than ever. I wouldn't worry about him getting tired of seeing you in the buff. I don't think there is any issue with being naked around so much. If your sex is good and he loves your body, then it's good.
Me and my significant other also are naked together a lot and I don't think it changes a thing.
Since it's on your mind, have a talk with your husband about his thoughts. Communicating directly will serve your marriage well. My girlfriend and I are walking around naked fairly often.
We still have a pretty healthy sex life.
I think intimacy is the cue we have for sex and not nudity.